Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, as you guys could probably tell by the title, we are going to be doing 5 different dinner ideas. So to get these started off, I will be showing you a grilled chicken Mexi bowl for 4 smart points on my myWW green. I have done a Mexi bowl in another video as well. I've also meal prepped it, but I kind of do things different every time. And I didn't have any frozen rice broccoli on hand, so I'm actually going to be making my own. Because I am making my own rice broccoli, you can add as much or as little as you want. Veggies are 0 points on green, and I personally like a lot of veggies. This was my favorite, the way this came out this time. I don't know if it's like the seasonings I used or the fresh broccoli, but it was so good. I'm just going to put these on a pan over medium-high heat and cook that broccoli down just a little bit. I think it only took me like 4 minutes for it to be done, so I'm adding all of my broccoli. Then I'll be adding a few tablespoons of low sodium chicken broth, about a teaspoon of chicken bouillon, some garlic powder, onion powder, and pepper. So that's going to be done really fast. This is a fast dinner, so keep this in mind if you end up needing a quick dinner idea. I'm going to be weighing my chicken out now. For this Mexi bowl, I did frozen chicken. These are Tyson's grilled chicken strips, and you can have 4 ounces for 2 points. I love having frozen chicken on hand just because if I don't have any from something else, usually I make like enough for leftovers, but in this case I didn't. And these are so nice because you just pop them in the microwave or your air fryer and you're good to go. I ended up microwaving these for 45 seconds and then I popped them in my air fryer at 375 for about 5 minutes just to get them nice and crispy. To a medium-sized bowl, I'm going to be adding in all of that broccoli. And this broccoli was so good and so flavorful. I'd probably just eat this on its own, to be honest with you guys. So definitely try making it with a little bit of chicken broth and chicken bouillon. You can, of course, add or don't add whatever seasonings you like or don't like, but this was so good. I'll be weighing out 33 grams of this Salsa con Queso by Tostitos and then adding it right over the broccoli. I highly suggest weighing your food and getting a food scale if you don't already have one. Typically people do like a tablespoon for a point, but you definitely get your money's worth by weighing your food out. As you guys can see here, 33 grams is quite a bit. I'm going to be weighing out 2 ounces of Trader Joe's fat-free refried beans. These are my favorite canned refried beans. I know I've told you guys that before, but they are so good. If you haven't tried them and if you have a Trader Joe's, I highly suggest getting them from there. So you can have 2 ounces for 1 smart point. I am going to be adding in about a tablespoon of water, mixing it around. I do like my beans to be just a little on the runny side for this. And I'm just going to place a little paper towel over that and microwave it for about 30 seconds. Always put a paper towel over your beans just because you don't want this blowing up in your microwave. The chicken is out of the air fryer, so I'm just going to be chopping this up and adding it into the middle of my bowl. Then I'm just going to be squeezing on a little bit of this La Victoria green taco sauce. Love this stuff. It's not spicy whatsoever. And I don't measure that out, but I would say it's roughly about a tablespoon. On top of the chicken, I will be adding 1.5 tablespoons of this Fage 0%. It's just plain non-fat Greek yogurt. I use this in placement of sour cream, so I don't have to count points for it. To me, it just tastes like sour cream. If you don't like non-fat Greek yogurt though, please use whatever you like, just adjust the points for this. I added on just a handful of some diced scallions. They were just some leftovers that I had on hand. And then lastly, I'm going to be adding on about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of salsa. And there you guys have it. This is my 4-point grilled chicken Mexi bowl. Here for dinner idea number 2, I'm going to be doing a burrito and some tacos. This burrito I got at Trader Joe's. It's 6 points on my myWW green. It is their 99% fat-free bean and rice burrito. It comes in the frozen section. And then these are Don Miguel's chicken and 3 cheese mini tacos. I got those at Sam's Club, and I love those tacos because they stay at 1 point per taco rather than some of them, which, for instance, if you had 1, it's 1, and then if you had 2, it goes up to 3 because there is chicken in it. So love these. I am going to be eating 5 of these for 5 smart points, but Eric also had these for dinner that night too. So as you guys can see, I have a lot more than 5 on my plate. And then these are going to go in my air fryer at 375 degrees until they are done cooking. Now for the burrito, I'm just going to be taking one of these out, and these are super easy. So it is frozen. I am going to be getting a paper towel just nice and damp and wrapping that over this and microwaving it for about 1 minute and 30 seconds to 2 minutes until the middle is no longer frozen. And then I ended up popping this in my air fryer too while the tacos were still in there just to get it nice and crunchy. On the side, I will be adding a little bit of salsa to that bowl, topped with a little bit of Fage 0%. That way I can top my burrito and dip my tacos in there, and that will be 0 points. So total, this is an 11-point dinner on my myWW green, and it took me just about 10 minutes to make it. Dinner idea number 3 is some cheeseburger egg rolls alongside with a fried pickle chaffle, french fries, and some Bolthouse ranch, which came out to 13 points for this entire meal, and it was one of my favorites throughout the week. I'm going to get started on my cheeseburger egg rolls. So these are the wrappers that I will be using. You can use whatever your store carries. I got these at Walmart. I'll be making a total of 3 egg rolls for myself, and then I also ended up making some for Eric too, but I kind of just put his to the side and I don't measure anything for his. Now it's time to roll some cheeseburger egg rolls. So with your egg roll wrapper, you just want to place it so that little pointy part is facing you. That way when you go to roll this, you're going to be rolling away from yourself. And then I'm going to be adding in 1 ounce of 96.4 extra lean ground beef. And then I'm adding in a sprinkle of that cheese. I weighed out 28 grams, so that way I could just add it to my 3 and not have to count points for it. And then this is the sauce that really takes it over the edge. It's so good. All it is a 1/2 tablespoon of Great Values Lite mayonnaise, 1 tablespoon of Primal Kitchen's no sugar added ketchup, a 1/2 tablespoon of mustard, and a 1/2 tablespoon of relish. And that is included with the cheeseburger points. So all I did was just mix that together, and then I'm going to be placing 1/3 of that onto the cheese. To wrap these, I am just going to be taking that side closest to my body and then wrapping it over all of the ingredients, tucking in both the sides, and then wrapping it all the way up. And the sides that you are rolling up, you just want to make sure and wet them down. That way it kind of acts like your glue. I have my air fryer preheated to 375 degrees. I'm just giving that a little spritz of some nonstick cooking spray. I'll be adding my 3 egg rolls into the left. That way I don't lose them. And with Eric's, like I said, I don't measure his, and usually his is with like 85-15 beef, so I don't want to screw that up. And then I'll be spraying the tops of these and air frying them until they are nice and crunchy. I did mine for about 9 minutes, flipping them halfway through. Look at how good these cheeseburger egg rolls look. Your air fryer is a must. I've done them in the oven before and they just don't cook right. They are not crunchy. They just end up getting weird. So if you have an air fryer, highly recommend using that, or a higher temperature setting on your oven if you do it in there. And then this is something I forgot to do. So when they went in there and I closed the lid, I sprayed them with a little bit more nonstick cooking spray. I meant to add the white sesame seeds then, but I forgot. So I ended up having to do more spray. That way they stuck, and adding the seeds then. But, you know, it ended up being fine in the end. Now that I have the egg rolls out of the air fryer, I'm going to be cooking my French fries in here as well. I turned down the temperature to 360 degrees and I weighed out 76 grams of these Great Value seasoned French fries. And these cook for about 10 minutes and so easy. It's like a one-pot job in your air fryer. I'm going to be weighing out 25 grams of this Bolt House Farms Ranch. You can have up to 27 grams of this for 1 Smart Point, but as you can see, I was getting low on the bottle there, and I was not trying to open my other one for 2 grams. So I just place it in its own little container. And my French fries are all done out of the air fryer, and you would think I'm done here, right? But no, no, no. I've been watching TikToks all day, and I ended up doing a fried pickle chaffle, and I made it 0 points with fat-free cheese. Wasn't my favorite. I bought light cheese at Trader Joe's so I can make another version of this for some Smart Points. It was pretty good. It's just, you guys know how that fat-free cheese is sometimes. It's, you know, a little iffy. But I'm going to go over that fried chaffle with you too. So for this day, I ended up counting points for this cheese, not the cheese for the cheeseburger egg rolls, because I did have this in one sitting. And I have my, I want to keep calling it a chaffle maker. It's a mini waffle maker. And I have that plugged in. Everyone on TikTok says put it over a plate just in case you have some spillage or some oil that leaks over on your countertops. So I already have this kind of preheating. And I sprayed my waffle maker with some nonstick cooking spray. I added half the cheese. I'm going to add all my pickles, and then I'll end up doing the rest of that cheese over the pickles, closing the lid on this bad boy, and it's going to cook for about 3 to 4 minutes, and you have a fried pickle chaffle. But use light cheese or something. Don't use fat-free cheese for this. Unless you're doing it for like breakfast or something where cheese isn't like the main ingredient. You know what I mean? Once your chaffle is done, you're just going to fork it out on the side right there, place it on a paper towel to crisp up for just a few minutes, and you have a fried pickle chaffle. So I'm just going to cut my chaffle in half and plate that. This was pretty good, but like I said, use light cheese. Don't use fat-free cheese for this specific chaffle. And so I'm just going to plate that. If you happen to make that chaffle individually, it would be 0 points, but because I have cheese in the cheeseburger egg rolls too, technically this is 14 points, but still worth it, still really good. I added the extra point for that in my app. Hope you guys make these. On to dinner idea number 4 will be some green chicken chili enchiladas, and on the side I have some fat-free refried beans and some roasted chicken rice. The enchilada is 3 points, the beans are 1, and the rice is 3, so there is the point breakdown for that. For my chicken, that will be going in the chicken enchiladas. I'm going to be brining this. This is something that I had never done before, and it's something that I've already repeated again. The chicken comes out so good in the air fryer when you do it this way, and you can even do it in the oven as well. I just did it in my air fryer. So I have a large bowl that I filled with some lukewarm water, and I added in 1/4 cup of pink salt. I'm just swirling that until all of that salt is dissolved. Before I put the chicken in their salt bath, I am just hammering down the larger part of that chicken breast. That way, when these go in the air fryer, it cooks evenly throughout at the same time and temperature. I had that chicken in my refrigerator for an hour and a half. I learned this from the Skinny Taste, and she does say an hour and a half to 2 hours minimum. So if you have the time, I would do this longer to let it rest in your fridge. And then once I have all that water drained, I'm going to be patting off the excess water with just a paper towel until these chicken breasts are nice and dry. I'll be placing 3 of those chicken breasts on a separate plate. That way I can evenly distribute my seasonings to these. So in a little bowl, I have some dried parsley, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and pepper. I am also spraying each side of the chicken breast with a little bit of olive oil spray, and I did that to both sides before adding the seasoning. And I have my air fryer preheated to 380 degrees. These are going to go in there for 10 minutes, flipping them halfway, and you have perfectly cooked, juicy air fried chicken. This is so good by itself, but it is so great for this enchilada recipe as well. With my meat thermometer, I'm just making sure that my chicken is at least 160 to 165 degrees. That way you ensure your chicken is fully cooked through. If you don't have a meat thermometer, I highly suggest buying one, especially if you're doing chicken in the oven. That way you don't leave anything to chance. And then once these are out of the air fryer, I will be letting them rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. Y'all, look at how good this chicken looks. Not kidding you guys, it's so good just on its own and so good in this recipe. Highly suggest making your chicken this way. So now I'm just going to be roughly chopping my chicken up to go inside of the enchiladas. I'll be weighing out 9 ounces of this cooked chicken, and that will be for 4 enchiladas for myself. These are the tortillas that I'll be using for my enchiladas. These are La Banteritas Carb Counter flour ones. To me, these taste like a normal tortilla, but you know, way less calories, and they are only 1 smart point per tortilla. And then I'm just going to be taking my chicken and equally dividing that into my 4 tortillas. I already weighed out my cheese. I am using a mixture of some fat-free shredded cheddar and fat-free shredded mozzarella. I did 56 grams of the cheddar and 28 grams of the mozzarella. I'm going to be putting most of that inside of the enchiladas, but just make sure and save some to top it off with. I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of this 505 flame roasted green chilies. I feel like this is really what made the enchiladas as good as they were, and not to mention, you can have as much of this for 0 smart points. That is all that is going in my enchiladas. Typically, I do add enchilada sauce inside of these, but because I added the green chilies, I didn't feel like I needed to. And honestly, I wasn't missing it whatsoever. So I'm just going to wrap these up. I'm going to spray my 9x13 Pyrex with some nonstick cooking spray. Total, I'll be using 3/4 of a cup of Las Palmas green chili enchilada sauce. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of that to the bottoms, placing my enchiladas on top of that, adding the remainder of the enchilada sauce and the remainder of my fat-free shredded cheese. While the enchiladas are baking in the oven, they have about 5 minutes left. I'm going to get started on my sides. So here I am going to be weighing out 2 ounces of Trader Joe's fat-free refried beans for 1 smart point. And I like my beans just a little bit runny. So in there I have a tablespoon of water. I'm going to be measuring this with my cup on there. So all you have to do is just zero that out. And then I'll be microwaving this, and like I said before, just make sure you put a paper towel over that so you don't have beans all over the place. For my rice, I am using Uncle Ben's Ready Rice. This is the roasted chicken one. You can have a 1/2 cup of this for 3 points, and this is just what we had on hand. It's so easy. You open the package about 1.5 inches. You kind of break up that rice and microwave it for 90 seconds and your rice is good to go. So I'm just going to get everything plated. I'm doing 1 enchilada for 3 points, a 1/2 cup of rice for 3 points, and my beans are 1 smart point. And that is it for these enchiladas. Dinner idea number 5 is going to be a pepperoni and olive cauliflower crust pizza with a side salad. The pizza itself was 8 points and my little side salad was 1 point, and that was just for the ranch. Kibosh was a company that sent me these just to try out, and I actually really like these. I ended up making one for Eric as well, and I'll probably order some when I run out of the ones that they sent me. I really do like them, although they are a little bit pricey. It comes with directions, so you can make these for enchiladas, pizza. They even have a dessert one. For a crispier pizza, it says to cook this in a skillet. I couldn't find my skillet, so I am just cooking this in my pan. And it says to brown it, so that's what I'll be doing. I have my temperature set to medium-high heat, and I'm going to be spraying both sides of this to get it nice and crispy. And I have my oven preheating to 425 degrees while I have this going. So that was super easy. It just takes a few minutes on the stove, flipping it just a few times to brown it up just a bit. And here for my pizza sauce, I will be using my Rayo's marinara. This is the best marinara that I have tried to date. I usually don't even like marinara, but this one is so good. I find myself eating it by itself. So I just took 1/4 of a cup of that for 2 smart points, and I forgot to mention that the crust, the entire crust, is 4 smart points. So total so far, this is 6. And then I will be adding in some cheese. I did 28 grams of fat-free mozzarella and added in a little bit of Italian seasoning. So I'm going to be evenly distributing that over the tops of my marinara sauce. Now I'm going to be adding on my toppings. Here I have 10 grams of these Bell's sliced olives for 0 points. My cheese is 0 points as well. And then I'm going to be adding on 15 slices of Hormel's turkey pepperoni for 1 smart point. While I was preheating my oven to 425, I also had this sheet pan in there. This is kind of a trick that I learned from Biz on Instagram. It kind of helps crisp up your pizza crust, and in this case, my keto cauliflower crust. And this is going to bake for 11 to 13 minutes until it is nice and crispy and that cheese is fully melted. While my pizza is in the oven, I'm just going to make a little side salad to go alongside with that. So I'm just taking a little bit of butter leaf lettuce, adding that to my plate. Then I'll be adding some shredded carrots, 27 grams of Bolthouse Ranch for 1 smart point, and a little bit of pepper, and you have a super quick and easy side salad. When I took my pizza out of the oven, I placed it on a wire rack just so that it can crisp up just a bit more. So I'm going to be slicing this up. My pizza total came out to 8 points and my side salad is 1 smart point. So this is a 9-point dinner. And that is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.